Nuclear Clown TV is on the air. Greetings, all my little nuklings out there. I am your host, Dave the Irradiated One, and today I will be looking at Star Trek, the movie. Not the old one where they're in space looking for a NASA shuttle pod thing, because that was crap. This is the J.J. Abrams one with thousands of millions of Starbucks invested in it, and all sorts of explosions and the Beastie Boys. Listen, all y'all, it's Captain's Log, and Star Trek is what I will be talking about. When this movie came out, a lot of people said, this ain't your father's Star Trek, and I kind of took a little bit of issue with that because my father's Star Trek had really hot girls in practically every episode and really, really, really short skirts and knee-high stripper boots. So as I always say, I will take my father's Star Trek any day of the week and twice on Stardate Sunday, because my Star Trek, The Next Generation, had a lot of women with no boobs in pantsuits. So yeah, let's get to the movie. J.J. Abrams decided to reboot the whole thing. Spock and Uhura are humping in the Enterprise. They're both naked, sweat dripping off. It's not like that. But they do have a little bit of a romantic thing. Vulcan gets blown up. Oh, wait, spoiler alert. I guess I should tell you. But he changed a lot of stuff. But I don't think he changed nearly enough stuff, in my humble opinion, to really warrant the whole alternate timeline story. Listen, it's enough to say, I'm going to redo Star Trek, it's going to be different, I'm going to change some stuff around. Fine. No need to say, it's different, but this is why, because so-and-so went back in time and screwed so-and-so's mom, and that makes everything very, 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 very strange. But, yeah, the movie. When I first heard about it, I thought, hey, cool, reboot it, why not? I love Star Trek. I'm not one of those people who thinks nothing's really sacred and holy. If you're gonna redo something, at least make it good, and if you're gonna put your own spin on it, I don't have a problem with that. I prefer it to be different rather than a straight translation. I mean, let's be honest, would anybody want another movie with the old crew and the old actors? I don't think so. Even though personally I liked 6, I thought 6 was really, really, really good. It was actually my second favorite, guess, next to you know what. Yeah, so I kind of thought, hey man, if you're going to reboot it, if you're going to take it and put your own spin on it and change stuff, don't apologize. Don't try to make it make sense, because that just pissed me off way more. In Batman Begins, they didn't say, this is an alternate story of Batman because we know you love the Michael Keaton one so much. No, Batman Begins said, we're doing it over again. This is our take on Batman, and personally, I loved it a lot more than the sequel. Again, we'll get to that later. Star Trek. Let's get back to Star Trek. In the beginning of this movie, just so I can get it out of the way, when Kirk's mom is giving birth to him, and there's this alien nurse in the picture, and it really looks like the director's son was like, Daddy, can I make an alien? Because her head it looks like a normal woman, but somebody just like smudged her eyes real big in Photoshop, and it's ridiculous. It's so silly looking. I'm glad I remembered to say that, because that was really something. Anyway, the story. I went into Star Trek once I heard that had time travel in it. I don't know when they're going to learn Star Trek plus time travel equals garbage. But when I heard Spock goes back in time, wow, I was upset. I was hyped for the remake, and then they did that, and then I kind of got a little deflated. But I went into it saying, hey, maybe it'll be half decent. And personally, I thought the first half of the movie, really good. Really good and very surprisingly good to me. I was expecting to just think it was trash, but first half I liked a lot. The second half is where we kind of come across the problems that I'm going to be talking about. As soon as they introduce time travel, I'm falling asleep, because it's ridiculous. As soon as Spock shows up in his Dungeon Master on the D&D cartoon role of saying, hey, Jim, over here, this way, talk to him, we're going to hook you up, and this is how it goes, and this, that, and the other thing, it kind of takes all the struggle out of the story. If he's there telling everybody what to do, then really it's not very dramatic. And also, let's talk about the bad guy, who is a Romulan miner from the future in a mining ship, who is destroying Federation starships. Think about it. It's in battle with a bunch of battleships, and a mining ship is kicking its butt with a crew full of miners. It's not like Nero is a commander or a captain. He's a worker. He's a laborer. He's a layman, for crying out loud. It's like if a Panzer tank gets destroyed by an ice cream vendor, for crying out loud. And people are going to say, no, Dave, it's a future ship. It's a future mining ship. That's like saying my 99 Pontiac Sunfire could destroy, a battleship from World War II because mine's from the future. This drove me up the wall in a bunch of different ways. But anyway, the second half of the movie really didn't like at all. Time travel stuff in general, where they try to do the alternate timeline thing, I always hated it. Vulcan is destroyed and Spock's like, oh, I'm the last Vulcan. Listen, there are other Vulcans on other ships. There are Vulcans on other planets. Long story short, there's a lot of Vulcans left. Besides, Vulcan looked like it was a barren goddamn wasteland. There were 4 Vulcans there to begin with? Anyway, I really liked the casting in this movie. I think they did a really, really good job. Kirk was fine. Spock was fine. I thought everyone was good in this movie at their performance. And man, did the second half disappoint. It's hard for me to judge because of how impressed I was with the first half of this movie, and then how let down I was with the second half. Because they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do the time travel storyline. Why not just have Romulans attack? Works for me. I'd like it. But J.J. Abrams, I think he was a little afraid, maybe rightfully so, of all this crazy Star Trek geeks out there who think that if you change anything, you better have a damn good reason. Me, I'm a little bit more lax. You're going to change it? Sure, it's old. Do what you can with it. Keep the girls hot, though. Yeah, I really think it was an apologetic type gesture, which was a little weak, and nobody buys it. Nobody says, oh, you know what? Oh, so that's why the storyline's different. No. By now, the movie-going public understands the concept of rebooting a franchise. I don't think Mr. Abrams knows that, or maybe he didn't want people, mailing him death letters in Klingon. But I guess since the first half was really good, and the second half I didn't like so much, I guess I have to give Star Trek it was okay. I mean, I kind of feel bad about doing that because I like the sets a lot and things of this nature, but due to the general storyline plots and miners running around and time travel stuff, Star Trek, the movie, it was okay.